Is it time for lockdown for all of America? I'm Rebecca Brand and I'm going to talk about this today. You're watching my coronavirus series. I do these videos every day and a lot of times they're really upbeat and happy, and I do DIY stuff like this chicken broth I'm making, another reduced recipe. I do coronavirus videos every day, and my topic today is lockdown. Santa Barbara, California has employed social distancing, and that's great, except people aren't abiding by that in my town. I was discouraged to see on Facebook pictures of people at one of my favorite restaurants, as if it was like the height of summer season and everybody's out. There was even one guy that looked like he was even coughing in the photo. My friends aren't practicing social distancing. They're still going out to public places and getting together in big groups to have dinner and live life like we used to 3 weeks ago. Like, where were we all 3 weeks ago? Well, we're not there now. That's the point. My YouTube channel is filled with comments which I'm so thrilled to read from people all over the world that have lessons to share with us. I wish everybody in my town could hear those lessons, and everybody in America. I have people from Italy, China, Tokyo, Singapore, everything. So if you look down my YouTube comments, you'll see that. And if you don't find me on YouTube, see my Facebook. And I wish my Facebook viewers, Instagram users, Twitter will also go to my YouTube to read those comments. They are so valuable. So please, if you're watching this, make your comments. Back to lockdown. If you saw yesterday's video about the guy that was coughing all over the food, an older person, he might have had some issues, but he seemed to be angry and he seemed to want to cough on the food. And another gal, she's like in her 30s and she's running around and in the produce section, and she seemed a little angry too, and she was almost like a aim, shoot, fire kind of a cough. Both of these people. And it's like, are you kidding me? Yes, we're calling for social responsibility, but there's a lot of people, and I'm sure y'all know them in your lives, that don't practice that. They're very selfish in their attitude about life. We know these people, we see them. Some of them are politicians. I mean, my gosh, they're everywhere, right? Every walk of life, we can have that type of an attitude. In every place in the world, there are people with that attitude. And with the coronavirus, as we know, that's easy for them to just get their message out by, I'm infected, or I might be dying next week, and I'm gonna take anybody down I can that's within my spray range for my sneeze. Which is another reason why I think we should all have just those easy masks, which I'm going to do on DIY. So the least we can do is be polite and not sneeze on somebody else. And if they're required, you don't have to take the risk that the guy next to you in the meat aisle is going to be sneezing on you or the beef you want to buy. If you're watching me on YouTube and you'd like more proof of this or more scientific articles, they're all posted on my personal Facebook. It's Rebecca Brand. And if you write me after you friend request me and say you're a YouTube watcher, that's just great. I want you as a personal friend of mine on my Facebook. I only get 5,000 on Facebook, but you can follow me there. My new social life is going to be Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, because that is what we do alone. We don't have to be alone doing it. We can talk to each other, write each other with comments and messages and everything that we can do on social media to communicate, because that's our new norm. At least that is for the next, I don't know, I hear different things between 3 months to a year. I don't know what it is. I don't have a crystal ball. But I know if we go towards lockdown, we have a heck of a lot better chance of staying more protected and having less of this virus get people sick, which will cause death. One of the issues Santa Barbara has right now is, how do you do lockdown when people have to go and buy supplies because they need to get prepared? That's a tough issue. Mandating the social distance, even though the lines are going to go out the store, might be a way to do it. I don't know. What are your suggestions? Or maybe just shut down the restaurants and the bars right now. Our government is having a hard time implementing that one. We don't want to hurt small businesses. But the deal is, the party doesn't need to be now. We can party later. You may not know me. People just tuning in don't know. But I'm one of the most social people in all of my town. I have this dinner party. In fact, everything in my YouTube channel all stems from me having dinner parties. I love to entertain. My dinner parties can get up to 100 people, and I make all the food in 3 days. And I love this. This is kind of my thing. It really brings community together for me to have my dinner parties. And I also socialize a lot. I go out and do all kinds of things. And my life was, since the kids left the house, I'm just going to go out and have a happy hour with a girlfriend and just be more social, because otherwise I'm pretty alone. Well, I want to have a life full of lots more dinner parties and lots more celebrations. And from the science I read and all the information available to me and to you, this is not the time. It's the time to see what other things can fill our lives in very meaningful and happy ways. And it might be more phone calls to our distant family or our friends, or more chatter on Facebook and getting to know new friends that you align with that once these quarantines are over, you might want to get together with, because I know that's happening in my life. I'm really a party girl at heart. I love to dress up, I love to cook, I love to invite people in my home, and I believe anybody can make a great social life by just making food, and it can be very inexpensive, as you might have seen on my channel. And the act of preparing food and inviting people over will make friendships that'll last a lifetime. Just keep it up. You can burn something now and then, they'll get over it. But this is not the time. We need to pull back drastically. I ask my local politicians in Santa Barbara, California, to please implore lockdown as soon as possible. Please stop restaurants and bars. Really, after a couple drinks, don't you just want to hug the person next to you? Don't you want to give lots of love and lots of jovialty? And don't you get a little sloppy about your social distance practices? I think I would. Therefore, I'm not going to go out. I'm not going to trust myself. And besides, I don't want their germs, and they probably don't want mine, because who knows? Maybe one of those shopping trips, I got infected. I don't know. In your community, maybe it's time we scream for lockdown. And this is a great quote I found in an article about things happening in Denver right now. And it says, on the front end of a pandemic, you look a little bit like an alarmist. You look a little bit like Chicken Little saying, the sky is fine. Acton is quoted saying that. On the back end of the pandemic, you didn't do enough. And that's where I feel I'm coming from. I need to do more. I'm doing a lot, but I need the message to be strong, and I need your support to make this message. So please comment on my Facebook, comment on my YouTube, comment on my Instagram, Twitter. Everywhere you see this, share this message, or share it in your own way, however you want to do it. But this is where we need to be. Our country needs to be on lockdown, in my opinion. Thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe to my channel and ring the little bell on top so you get notified of my next video. Because if you don't ring the little bell on top, you won't get notified. That's just how YouTube works. I have a whole lot of recipes, a lot of DIY projects for the coronavirus, and a whole series on coronavirus. And I also have this soup I'm making, which is reduced bone broth, so that you're able to make it a super, super thick concentrated recipe. And one of my viewers said, hey, you can put it in ice cube trays because it's a 1-to-2 ratio. 1/2 cup of this plus 1 cup of water, and there's your bowl of soup, or whatever you want to make. I don't really have ice cube trays in my house, so I'm gonna let it cool and put it in plastic little baggies and into the freezer it's gonna go. Bye for now. I'll see you tomorrow. I wish you and your family good health, well-being, and lots of happiness.